Good morning. This is Wende Henley with the Bedford Area Chamber Vibes podcast. And we are excited today to welcome Jasmine Jordan with Blue Ridge Optics. Welcome, Jasmine.
Hi, Wendy. How are you doing?
I am doing great on this rainy day. It's a beautiful rain, though.
It is. It's nice.
So we're so excited to have you, and Blue Ridge Optics is making it happen. We are talking about, of course, first I want to say we're celebrating Women's History Month and the importance of women changing our world right here in Bedford. And you're one of those, sharing your story, sharing your impact, and how you're making a difference to help Bedford and our world to be a better place to work and play. And your achievements and your leadership are astonishing, what you've done and how you've come back to Bedford with all that you know, and you're making a difference every day. So we thank you.
I appreciate that. You are as well, Wendy. I really do appreciate that.
Well, awesome. Listen, we inspire each other.
Yes.
So you are a lifelong resident of Bedford, graduate of Liberty High School right here. And after graduating high school, you went on to obtain your BS from James Madison University in Harrisonburg right here.
Yes.
And you briefly lived in Richmond, working around food and beverage industry. And then you were relocating back to Bedford in 2017. And so you began working for Beals, which we'll talk about that in a little bit, what you've got going on there, which is so awesome. And so you worked as a bartender there for a little bit. And then you started your position with Blue Ridge Optics. And you have been changing our world right now, every single day in both places. And you're currently the production manager at BRO. And then you've been there for 3 years. So, but you also host a weekly trivia night.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes, it is awesome.
At Beals. This is so great. And let me
Yes.
tell you something. Everybody knows you.
Yes, everyone knows me from trivia, and it's awesome. It makes me really proud of trivia, so
Yes.
it's a great way to be known.
It really is.
It
really is. It's a fun time. And a lot of people in Bedford come to trivia night and they come to win. Some come to just play and have fun. We
Yes.
talked about that. But it's just a blast, and it's one of those things where you come, everybody knows your name at Beals.
Yes.
And it's just a great way to celebrate and enjoy, sit back and enjoy each other's time and just have fun.
Yes.
So, and you make it fun.
Thank you. You have to with trivia because it can be very tense sometimes.
Right. There can be some players out there that are serious about winning. Yes, I have been there, and I was not one of the serious ones. But I came in, we were talking about that off air, and I'll just mention, you come in there, and you can come in with your group. You can come in, with whomever. And I came in one night, and we were just unfamiliar. It was like the first time we'd been at trivia. And we learned, no, don't break out your phone or anything. This is a no.
It's a
for
no
those
phone
who want to win. We're just playing to have fun. It's like,
Yes.
oh wait, oops, we can't do that.
Yes.
So we should have known. But it was still a blast. We had a great time, and we've got groups. I mean, I know a girl that works with me. She goes every Thursday.
Yes. We have several teams that have been dedicated for a few years now, coming every single Thursday.
So fun. Well, so what do you do in your spare time?
So a big thing that I do, I love that we live in this area because we have so many great restaurants to eat at. I'm a foodie, so are all of my friends. We love going out to new places to eat. I also love being at the lake during the summer and just getting to be out there. I'm a big winery fan as well. The 151 tour, I've done it plenty of times. We're in a really nice area for all of those things, so I'm really lucky for that. But those are the main things that I like to do, and I love live music.
Oh my gosh, me too. Who's having some live music coming up?
I think this summer we're going to see a lot more shows. I'm looking at some in Richmond at the Altria Theater, but I'm hoping we'll have some more local shows by then.
Me too. I love it when we can have those bands come out and just enjoy, sit back. I'm looking for the jazz band to come, so put a word in.
Okay. I'll see what I can do.
That would be so nice. Yes. Well, you are just making it happen. I know, we understand what goes on at Blue Ridge Optics, but for the listeners out there, let's talk about, what is Blue Ridge Optics and what inspired you to go into this field?
So Blue Ridge Optics is a company that has been in Bedford since 2006. We just celebrated our 15th year anniversary and we're coming up on our 16th year. They work with precision laser optics as well as thin film coatings. So that probably sounds really crazy, but it's actually something really simple. So parts that we work on are in things as simple as cameras, things like medical equipment, to things as complicated as military equipment. We work in a wide array of things, and it's something as simple as a glass optic, and it can be used in so many different ways. So we're making an impact, and somewhere as small as Bedford is having these parts that are coming out that are honestly changing the world. They're in so many different things that we rely on, and I've come to learn a lot about it within the past few years. What brought me into the industry is honestly, I'd moved back home. I've known the CN family for a very long time, and they're just amazing people. And I just approached them about working there, and Walter approached me about a position that he thought would be right for me. And within the past 4 years, I've just got to grow from my original position to the production manager, and I've just loved it every step of the way.
Yes, and you're inspiring others. And so what really got you other than Walter? Walter inspired you
Yes.
obviously to get into that position, but was there anything drawing you to
Yeah.
science?
The field itself, I've been interested in for a very long time. I've been in Bedford County Public Schools for a long time, and we had some amazing science and math teachers. Specifically, I remember Miss Moody from my eighth grade. She probably was a lot of people's algebra teacher. Really inspired me to love algebra. And then once I got to Liberty High School, Miss Mulkerns was my chemistry teacher. And those basically propelled me to when I got to JMU. I knew I wanted to be involved in science, but I didn't know how. Originally, I thought I wanted to be involved on the medical side. So my undergrad degree is actually in health sciences. So that was, I always knew I loved the field, but I didn't really know what I wanted to get into. But basically, it came down to science, as broad as it is, it all comes down to one thing. I think that science explains how everything works. And it just has always interested me to learn about a field that I necessarily wasn't really interested in before, more so of physics and engineering and things like that. So it's been nice to get to learn more about it. And it's something that came out of left field, but it's now my career and the thing that I spend my life doing. So.
And it's so interesting. You mentioned some mentors that you had early on were your teachers.
Yes, definitely.
Sometimes it's just those little seeds that they're planting. They don't even know it, but they
Yes.
are. And those are what's going to grow later on. And you were seeking that out in your college years. And then, of course, the job just came to you, basically.
Yes.
I mean, you're there. And, of course, it was meant to be. But, that's exciting. And how you had people seeking you out for that position. And so we want to talk about women and STEM and some statistics, where our needs are, and kind of explaining that to our listeners, because I think it's important to highlight where our job industry is and where we as women can fit in and really fill in those gaps.
Yes.
And so you've got a lot of that information. So let's just dive right in to, let's talk about what STEM is first.
Yes. So STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So it's basically a broadening that's given to the science and math fields and the industry that has traditionally been male dominated, that within the last few years, we've seen a big surge of women getting involved in the field. And it's causing lots of conversations to be had about the impact of women joining a field that was once so male dominated, and how we're working together and discoveries are being made from the different ways that people think. So science, technology, engineering, and math are needed for our everyday life. They are things that literally keep a city going, things that keep your car running. So these fields are very important, and seeing more women involved in it is a big thing for us.
Yeah, it really is. And we are lacking in, some of that. And so engineering for sure. And so where are the crossover fields?
So some of the crossover field, it's honestly very broad. You look at some of kind of our CEOs and CEOs of different companies. For example, YouTube, we have Susan Wojcicki, who's been the CEO since 2014. She's crossing over through so much because it is a technology company. It's based in tech, but it also requires different engineers who are keeping the flow going, keeping people active and engaged. It also crosses over with math, numbers. She's a CEO for a reason. Getting people there, monitoring the streaming, and reporting these numbers for making them the prominent and dominant platform for watching videos. We also have Sheryl Sandberg, who's the CEO of Facebook as well as Meta now, and she's been in that position since 2008. I think Facebook is the perfect example of crossing over all of those fields, especially now that metaverse is happening. I think we all should be paying attention to these different things because in a few years, this could just be a way of our lives. Just like when chat rooms started, we probably never thought that we would have a phone in our pocket that we were texting people daily and we communicated more by typing than we did, verbally. So I think that those are just good examples of where everything is crossing the board and everything's working together, honestly.
It certainly is. And, for women, the door is wide open for so many positions in different fields. And so, where are the true needs?
So each field, of course, has its own specific need, but over the past few years, it's always been a fact that engineering and mathematics lack the most female presence. But over the past few years, there also have been the areas that have been growing more with females. The biggest thing that I've seen emerging within our area specifically has been the availability of coding classes as well as computer programming. There's lots of programs within Virginia itself, as well as there are lots of organizations to get young girls involved with coding and just STEM in general. So I think that those are the fields that we're going to see emerging a lot. Also, social sciences, they fall under that science category. I think that as time goes on and we have more and more people working together, it's going to become more important to have communication as a forefront. So social sciences are definitely a part of that.
Yeah, so many jobs, are open and our workforce is depleted right now after the pandemic. Just in February, 2.1 million fewer Americans are employed now than before the pandemic. And so women are a huge piece of that and, of the workforce. And so of course childcare plays into that,
Yes.
not having the childcare needed. And so many women have come out of the workforce and gone home, or they've started their own business and
Yes.
become entrepreneurs for themselves.
Yes.
So we have seen a huge change in our workforce. And so, we want to make sure that everyone is aware of what's out there, but we know that there are changes. And we certainly, of course, like the entrepreneurship building up. But again, our workforce is definitely depleted, and there are so many positions out there available to
Yes.
women. And then, of course, the next generation coming up, we want to make sure that they know what jobs are available in our area so that these businesses will still have the workforce that they need to continue on. And certainly, Bedford is at the heart. We want to
Yes.
make sure that our manufacturers and these small businesses have the workforce that they need. So we've got to just educate. And, we do that as a chamber and have job fairs and certainly want to get into the schools. We're going to have an internship program that we're working with the schools to do.
Yes.
And so Blue Ridge Optics will play a part in that as well. And so we're excited to continue to educate our entire community on what is offered right here and how you can get plugged in. And so Blue Ridge Optics, huge. You've got what, 35
Yeah, about
employees?
35 employees now. I believe we're right at 35, which is awesome because it started with maybe, I think the most they had for the first years was about 6 people. And it was so small and everybody was handling all of these duties, and we've come a long way since then.
Right, you certainly have. And it's been about what, 16 years?
16 years. Yes, they started in 2006.
And now the merger. Let's talk about that.
Yes. So at the beginning of the year, we took a big step forward to the future for us as a company, and we merged with a company that we've worked with for a long time. A company that we admire and a company that very much mirrored our company culture, our whole vibe as a company, and what we want it to be for the people of Bedford. They are for the people of their town. So in regards to our merger, we're definitely looking to grow to the next step. We've been, right around that 30 to 35 employee mark for a few years, and we've been doing excellent. And, everyone that works there comes there with the sense that they are making an impact and they work that way. So we are looking to grow the company and to service more customers and just really become a prominent source for jobs in Bedford. I think that in a small town like this, companies like that, they literally keep so many families going. Putting food on the tables, getting kids through school. As well, we've had interns at Blue Ridge Optics, just seeing where these kids go. That is a big deal. So I'm really excited for the growth that we're going to have in the next few years.
It really is exciting. So about 20 more employees over the
Yes.
course of the time.
So our goal is to get at least about 4 to 5 different people within all of our departments. We're looking to grow our sales and marketing team. We're also looking to grow just with engineers, anyone who is very career driven and interested in this field. That is something that we like to seek out. So over the next few years, we'll be close to almost doubling in size, and it's going to be nice to see that growth. And who knows where we will be trying to grow to within the next few years. That number could increase just based on where we are.
Right. And that's so exciting right here
Yes.
for Bedford and just the workforce in general.
Yes, it really is. As someone who has lived in Bedford my whole life, and so has my family, we've seen so many industries like Rubber Techs and Golden West that were big employers for years and years, and they left, and it left such an impact. So it's nice to see this rebirth that's happening in Bedford and the future that we have as being a town that you can always count on being able to get a job in.
Yes, we are very blessed. We have a lot to do. America in general needs to work on initiatives and removing those barriers so people can re-enter the workforce.
Yes.
And so we're doing our part, but we just want to make sure that everyone is aware what is available and that there is plenty here in Bedford.
Yes.
The unemployment rate right now is 3.8%, and the job market's hopping, but employee population is down to 1.3% below pandemic rates. So, 3.4 million workers, more workers are employed, but, we still are trying to get back after this pandemic. And so we just need to build it up. And I'm certainly happy that Blue Ridge Optics is expanding
Yes.
and doing a fabulous job. You're doing an excellent job. And so we want to thank you for being here and also being on our board of directors.
Of course.
Thank you
Yes,
for your
of course.
service
I'm very
and
excited for
your
that.
wisdom that you're going to be offering and the committees that you're on. So looking forward to some great things there. But women helping women. And we want to talk about the importance of having mentors in your life for women as we focus on, Women's History Month and how important that is to be the leader for someone else and to help them reach their goals and their potential. And, just celebrating women's successes, and you're part of that. Who would you say that would be a mentor for you right now?
My family is just such a big part of my life. Specifically with it being Women's History Month, my mom and my grandmother are both just such hardworking women. They dedicated so much of their life to making sure that they're doing the best possible work. And that's always been something that I was raised with, to always take pride in your work. So my mom specifically has always been a big mentor for me. My mom worked in Bedford County Public Schools for many years. She actually works now with me at Blue Ridge Optics. But my mom is a math whiz, and she's probably the smartest person I've known with math. So she always really inspired me. I always thought that was so cool that my mom could do math like that, because you see so many parents that are like, don't bring out the math homework. I cannot
Right.
do it
They're
either.
like, pass that off to
Yes.
someone else.
But I was very lucky to have a mom that was just really interested and always great with that. And it just always motivated me to, be that person that kind of shocked people, to be good at something that you wouldn't necessarily them expect them to be good at. So that definitely, she's a big mentor for me.
She sounds like it. And it's so nice that you can work together too.
Yes. It is. It's really nice.
That's awesome. Well, every leader needs a mentor. And so who would you say you're mentoring?
I definitely would say just the next generation in my family. I have a younger sister who also works with me.
It's a family thing.
It is. And then I have a young niece who just turned 1. And I think about the world that they're going to have and the access to technology that they're going to have. I think they're going to have unlimited capabilities, honestly. I think they're about to be a part of a really, really cool generation. So I just want to show her that you can always be someone that is a standout no matter what you're working in, no matter what you're doing. You can always be someone that is known for being the best at what you do, honestly. Just putting forth that effort and being really present and finding something you're passionate about, I think, is the most important thing. So just being an example of that to her, of this is what life looks like when you work really hard at something that you really love, and this is the benefits that you can have from it. So
That's
definitely that
right.
next
And
generation.
you know, if you love what you do, it's never a job, right?
Exactly. You
It's
don't work a
just
day in your
you
life.
never work a day in your life. And I think that makes a difference. And so yes, encouraging women to actually go into a field that they naturally have an ability for and an interest and a passion to do.
Yes.
And I think most women have this innate sense of wanting to make a difference for their community, for their environment. And so that will play into whatever that you do, whatever you're drawn to, and helping women advance their careers. I think, team building and investing in your own self-development so that you can help someone else too, putting your best foot forward and just being a continual learner, wouldn't you say, is
Yes.
very inspiring. And
Yes.
so that's who you are. That's who we all want to be. And we want to change the world for tomorrow. And so thank you for positioning yourself in such a great area, Bedford,
Ah,
and making a difference every single day. I will definitely see you at Bill's coming soon for
yes.
trivia night on
I
Thursday.
would love that.
And thank you so much for being here and for making a difference. And we'll look forward to seeing you at our next event.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.